This video is brought to you by 3, bringing you 4G at no extra cost and some exclusive deals over at btech.com.
Hey guys, welcome to bTech. It's Basil here. Two of the most beautiful phones out right now, the HTC One M8 and the LG G3. The G3 announced today with a Quad HD display, 5.5 inches of Quad HD display, no less. As far as the devices go, they're slightly similar. They both sport pretty curvaceous backings and that brushed metal backing too. Both look and feel incredibly rich. We're going to kick off by telling you about the design. We'll take it one at a time. Start off with the newest phone on the block, and that's the G3. Front-facing camera with an f2 aperture, 5.5 inch display, like we said, Quad HD, a pixel density of 536. Down below you've got on-screen buttons, an LG logo, no buttons on the right or left. That's how LG's managed to make it so lacking in bezel right there. Flipping it round, you've got a 13 megapixel rear-facing camera that's optically image stabilized. You've also got laser autofocus for super speedy autofocus and a dual flash, one warm, one cool, for perfect white balance in flash, apparently according to LG. As far as the buttons right there go, the center one is a power button, volume buttons around it, and they're multifunctional, so when you're in camera shooting mode, for example, it will take a picture, etc. Up at the top you've got an infrared blaster which will control your TV, and depending on where you are, a TV antenna. In the UK we will not have these naturally. As far as the display goes, like we said, it is mind-blowing. So big, but at the same time it hardly adds anything to the size of this device because those bezels are so small. It's perfectly manageable in one hand and it looks breathtaking. We can pull in closer to frame and you should definitely be able to make out exactly how beautiful that panel is. If we pull in the HTC One M8, we can see in the side-by-side, it's significantly sharper than the HTC One M8 jumping into the applications tray, for example. Despite the fact that HTC One M8 has a 5-inch Full HD display with a pixel density of 443 or thereabouts. Both devices look beautiful, as we said, but the HTC One is the only one with a front-facing stereo speakers. Those premium sound speakers are top of their class. You've also got 5 megapixel front-facing camera, right-hand buttons, a volume rocker down at the base, 3.5mm headphone jack, and a micro USB port. You've got that wraparound design, which you don't have on the G3. The G3 has a removable back cover, whereas the HTC One M8 packs its micro SD card slot in a slot on the right-hand side. Left-hand side nano SIM card slot, up at the top infrared blaster and power button. Flipping it around, you've got a slightly grubby 4 megapixel ultra pixel camera, and you've also got a flash, one warm, one cool, once again for that extra accurate white balance. You've got another camera module up top so that you can actually also gain perspective information and an NFC strip too. As far as that display goes, we've already told you about what the resolution is, but it's an SLCD panel and probably one of the best in terms of color accuracy that we have ever seen. If we put the two phones side by side, we can take a look at the user interfaces. Android 4.4.2 on both, custom UIs atop both as well. HTC Sense 6 on the HTC One M8. And it's a really optimized experience. Everything is so super smooth and fluid. The menu screens are all relatively vertically scrolling, and that complements the really nice long feel of the phone. As for the LG G3, it's a much more horizontal experience, and LG's clearly redrawn everything to make it all look a lot simpler. Both of the devices pack pull-down notification trays. You've got quick toggles, you've got brightness and volume control, and you've got toggles you can swipe out of the way. That's notifications, sorry, not to mention access to the settings. On the HTC One M8 you can swipe notifications out of the way and access quick toggles. You can customize these incredibly easily, and you can also access the settings by pulling down and jumping into there. And everything looks a lot more stock on the HTC One M8 than on the LG G3. Having said that, the LG G3 is still impressive. There are a range of features that haven't quite made it to the M8. While the M8 does have the double tap to wake feature, which we can see right there, and there's also advanced motion control features, so if we swipe up we can unlock to the phone directly, and we can also swipe left to unlock to blink speed, swipe right to unlock to your home screen, for example, whereas the LG G3 has something called knock code. So apart from the fact you can double tap to on, double tap to off, You've also got knock code, which enables you to tap 4 parts of the screen to unlock your phone extra securely. There's also a remote shutdown feature on the phone to make sure you have that extra peace of mind should your phone go missing. Internals on both devices include Qualcomm Snapdragon 801 processors. The LG G3 is available in either 3GB or 2GB of RAM variants. You've also got this in the 32GB or 16GB ROM variants. The HTC One M8 just has 16GB on board. There is a 32GB as well, but you've only got the 2GB of RAM variant that you can buy. As far as other key connectivity features go, you've got Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, 4G, 3G, 2G. Bluetooth is Bluetooth 4.0. Like we said, both devices have infrared blasters, but the G3 supports wireless charging, which is a really nice addition. Generally speaking, therefore, the G3 is one of the most exciting devices we've seen in a very long time. We have to say we love the fact that the HTC One M8 introduced a new feature that we've never seen before with that camera module, and we love the fact that the G3 introduces a screen resolution that we have never seen before. We cannot wait to get it in for review. We haven't mentioned that the 13 megapixel camera on here, not only is it optical image stabilized, but LG's also redrawn the camera user interface. So if we open it up right here, we can see everything just looks much simpler. You've got none of that Samsung looking user interface that we saw on the LG G2. Instead, you've got a much cleaner UI with load less shooting modes, and it all looks a lot more refined, which is really nice to see. HTC's camera UI, by contrast, is pretty full on. It doesn't look so instantly, and indeed, if you just tap through here, it all looks very demure and simple. But for anyone who wants to really dive into your shooting, you've got that manual shooting, which allows you to change things like shutter speed, autofocus, ISO and white balance. So 2 top-notch devices, can't wait to get both in for review. Final point to talk about is battery. You've got a 3000 mAh battery in the LG G3. You've got a 2600 mAh battery in the HTC One, though with that smaller screen, we're guessing battery life will be relatively comparable. If you've got any questions about either device, make sure you ping them in the comments section below. Hopefully you've enjoyed our video. If you've liked the video, make sure that you subscribe, and please head over to btech.com. Over there you can find the latest in smartphones, tablets, smart gadgets, and some awesome deals as well.
At the top of the screen is where you can find 3 hand-picked videos for your viewing pleasure. On the left is where you can subscribe, and on the right hand side you can find some exclusive deals if you head over to btech.com.